All right, here are our topics. We're going to go. We're going to try to do about, there's 5 topics, so we're trying to do about 10-ish minutes per each topic. First, general cosmetic industry questions. But Dennis, first, before we get to that, why don't we answer some of the questions that were sent in really fast? Because I appreciate the people that are here. And and these are kind of easier questions to quickly answer. So Fang said, how long do you expose a formula at 50 degrees to represent a 3-year shelf life?
So reaction kinetics, the rule of thumb, so to speak, is that for every 10 degrees centigrade that you increase the temperature, you've doubled your reaction rate. So you can do the math and figure out where you're at from that.
Yeah, that's the Arrhenius Equation, I think. I think that's it. You learned that in like first year chemistry, but you never thought it applied to cosmetics. But that's what we go with. So basically, if you figure 25 degrees is room temperature, 25 C is room temperature, and if you want to know how long will it last for 1 year, if you increase it by 10 degrees, that'll represent 35 C will represent 6 months. Increase another 10 degrees, which would be 45 C. That would represent half of that, so 3 months. So 45 degrees should represent room temperature at 1 year. This is all just really loose science, though, because a lot of things will melt at 50 degrees, and that's not really what would happen.
It's helpful to validate with a actual room temperature study. The accelerated stability, of course, is just to get some sort of a feel for how it's going to react in real life. So,
Fatima says, "What is the most effective anti-aging ingredient?"
Well, most effective. We hear that a lot, right? What's the best? Everybody wants to do the best formulation, and certainly there is a greater weight of evidence for certain ingredients versus others. But it's always very difficult to say. What's best, because there's a lot of things that are involved, ingredient safety, marketing, price, all these things are going to factor in when selecting the best solution for any type of formulation.
For sure. And but if you want some specifics, as far as the stuff that I've seen, retinols are always touted, and niacinamide, I've looked into a little bit. Those two, to me, have the most evidence behind them. But I'm sure, people who sell other anti-aging ingredients, ceramides, peptides, that sort of stuff, they'll have data too. But as far as like my independent view of it, retinols and niacinamide, although my real independent view is that as long as you moisturize, you aren't going to be able to tell much difference anyway.
Yeah, that kind of baseline, putting a moisturizer on your skin does a lot to start. So.
Well, I think the thing is that consumers are just not very good at noticing differences and stuff. And so you could have a very subtle difference over the course of 4 weeks. But if it doesn't feel good, like immediately put it on, you're not going to use it. And is there really a benefit?
The price tag is a placebo in itself.
For sure. And one more, Sandra says, what are the best vehicles and emulsifiers for washing oils? It's a tough question, a little bit vague, but...
Yeah, I think they're talking about... So these cleansing oils are becoming quite popular. I always say, 10, 15 years ago, it was completely unheard of to just apply oil directly to your face. Everything was oil-free was the marketing. Nowadays, it's all these cleansing oils that are, basically just oils now that everybody's just liberally applying to their face and then wiping off. And certainly if you put oil soluble emulsifier, a water in oil emulsifier will certainly help those products to rinse easier. As far as what's best, you really have to kind of decide again on what you're looking for in terms of aesthetics, what's going to work best for you. But there's quite a lot of options. You're basically going to be looking for an oil soluble surfactant or emulsifier to put in there.
For sure. Okay, Dennis, let's hop back to the Q&As here that were sent in. So first question sent in. Frasant says, what exactly is the difference between a formulation scientist and an engineer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one was a little, I've not heard a lot about formulation engineers, but it sounds more like a scale up or process engineer type of position.